Hello, and welcome to Unleash the Network podcast, a podcast that aims to educate and inspire our listeners by sharing stories from MasterCard Foundation scholars and African Leadership Academy alumni who have gone on to make a positive impact in their communities and promote values of leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Rejoice, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be for being here. My name is Rejoice, as you might have mentioned, and I'm a typical Zimbabwean. I'm currently learning in Costa Rica at university. I'm glad to be here to share my story with you guys.
As a
Uh,
Zimbabwean, what do you feel about the current documentary that has been released by Al Jazeera about the gold mafia?
well, that's a story of another day, but I honestly think that there's a lot to be talked about, and we have to work on a lot as a country and as a nation, not to mention names, but well, that documentary was an enlightenment of a lot of things that have been happening, and typically how as a nation we have been ignorant of some things that we need to take into consideration. So yeah, I hope it will be an eye opener for the law enforcement to put some things into action and into order. So yeah.
And speaking about some of the things that we have to take into action, you have been working with women and you have been trying to empower them. And so maybe you could tell us a bit about that.
Well, before I came to university, I had an opportunity to work with about three NGOs in my country that do women empowerment, especially in girls that are in high schools. So that's where the work started. We're doing women empowerment, getting girls back into school that had left school, doing menstrual hygiene sessions, teaching them about their decision, to follow, empowering them to follow education, to be more resilient. And if you take a little bit uh, back step and look into my story, it's one of those stories of determination and resilience, so to speak, because just after my A levels, I had struggles getting into university, and I had to work towards achieving that by myself. So, yeah, that has been the journey, and I hope to continue inspiring other women that they can do it. And one thing that I would like to get there is indecisiveness is a cancer. As a woman, you have to know what you want in life and go out to do it, because no one is going to do it for you, really. So that's the message. Yeah. And I love women. Women are powerful. And if you get to look at agriculture specifically, um, if you go like back to our countries, most agriculture is done by women, like in our families, in our rural areas. So women have an important part to play in the agriculture sector. And now the message is, why not create spaces for women in agriculture, not just our mothers or our grandmothers, young women. There's a lot of space for growth. There's a lot of space for us to shine and to just go out there and learn and bring back those amazing stuffs to our community so that it can develop. Yes, so that's a bit about it. One of the questions, if I remember well, when I applied to Earth, that they asked me is, why do you want to apply to Earth University? And I looked at my country. Zimbabwe used to be known as a breadbasket of Africa. Where are we now? Fighting over gold. That's a joke. But then, yeah, we used to be known as a breadbasket of Africa, providing maize to other countries. But it would shock you to know that right now we are actually importing maize. um, we are actually importing things like wheat, things that we used to grow by ourselves. So what went wrong? It's now our job as citizens, as global citizens, to figure out our food systems and how we can actually advance them for the betterment of the future. Yeah, yeah, we need to do that, because if I look at my country, for instance, now we are all known for tobacco. Yeah, it's giving money. We're exporting it. We're exporting it, but then what is the what legacy are we leaving in terms of our soils? Are we considering all that? So as a woman, you have to have interest in that and venture into agriculture, basically.
And speaking about people venturing into agriculture, I think it's also very important to understand that in as much as we're venturing into agriculture, we should also be doing agriculture as big businesses and not small businesses.
But like they say, we all start from somewhere, and there are opportunities. Like I mentioned, there are opportunities out there, and you just have to look out for them and apply. Really, I've been in constant fight with people that say there is no money in agriculture, there are no opportunities. Are you for real? Are you looking in the right places? Then comes now the issue of your circle as a person. How does your a circle of people that you call your friends contribute to your growth as a person? Because, man, opportunities are there. In short, opportunities are there, and placing yourself in the right circles of people is also important. Positioning yourself, making yourself invincible, so to speak, in terms of that. You are a leader in LA agriculture. Aren't they always posting opportunities? Food for thought. Opportunities are there, but it's actually our our responsibility to go out there and look for them.
And why has there been a mindset around, agriculture doesn't have enough money, or it's a dirty job, if I may say that, and young people don't want to be associated with agriculture or don't want to involve themselves with agriculture?
Agriculture is where all the money is. That's where you get it wrong. That's where all the money is. Why everyone wants to eat. If I tell you I wanted to be a medical doctor, and then that one flipped, and then what was my second option? I applied to LU in Mauritius. I got the place. I had a full scholarship there. And also got to Earth University. I had to sit myself down and think, what do I want? What's the future like? And I opted for agriculture. So I wonder when people say there's no opportunities in agriculture. Agriculture is not only about the agriculture that we know back home. It's far much advanced nowadays. We have technology, we have precision agriculture. We are trying to make places, our agriculture systems more efficient, because as a population we are growing. Recently a statistic was given where how many are we now in terms of billions as a world? We are growing 13, I think. We must be 13 billion now. Now the question is, the population is growing. What are we doing in terms of food systems? Because these people will need to be fed, which means there's constant space in agriculture for growth. Unlike other industries where they might even reach their threshold, let me give an example, minerals. Those are God-given things, and they might come to exhaustion. But agriculture, people will always want to eat. That's why there's been a lot of focus in agriculture, chemicals, things to do with. Now we are talking about the climate smart projects, implementation of climate smart projects. We are talking about creating circular economies where we have less of environmental damage and more productivity in terms of the produce that we get. So I honestly think there's a lot of space in agriculture, in short.
And I like how you spoke about, oh, by the way, we are 8 billion people in the world right now. I just checked that quick.
We are 8 billion. Okay.
And I like how you spoke about utilizing technology in agriculture because, well, the vast majority of land in Africa is fertile land, right? But then when you look at countries like Zimbabwe, as how we pointed out earlier, the fact that you are importing maize and wheat doesn't make sense at all. And the fact that, the Russia's invasion in Ukraine led to many African countries suffering from lack of food really speaks to how we should be utilizing technology more in agriculture and how we should inspire more people to get into agriculture.
Yeah.
Because everyone eats.
Everyone needs to eat. It's a basic commodity, yeah. And the thing is not just that agriculture depends on a lot of things. It could be the soil. We have global warming nowadays. Our rain patterns have been disturbed. So what precision agriculture is bringing to the table is, well, you don't have water. How else can you produce food? Now you're talking about fertiliego, which is irrigation combined with fertilization, where we are saying we are only giving the plant the specific amount of water it needs, rather than us waiting for rain, which is not coming. How else can we implement? How else can we grow the food that we need? We are in Dubai. They've been planting, and we have heard things about stories about cloud seeding, where they are literally pouring salt into the clouds so that they can stimulate rainfall. That's technology in agriculture. So there is a lot to be done, to be honest, and there's a lot. Now we have people venturing into aquaponics, where they're saying, well, we might not have the soil to do all this. Why can't we plant on top of water? You get, there are a lot of innovations that are happening so that we can get that important commodity of food to the nations and to the people.
And Kenya will be launching its first ever satellite, Taifa 1. And
Wow, amazing.
so we expect that it's going to help them a lot in terms of using technological advancements in farming and agriculture.
True. That could actually help them a lot.
What made you get into agriculture?
What made me get into agriculture? I think it's just a passion. I did agriculture in high school. Even though I had a passion for medicine before coming for agriculture, I felt like it's a place that I would grow more. There's a lot of space for growth. And well, girl likes talking to animals and trees. I just have this connection that is unexplainable, you get. And there's a lot of money in agriculture. And I also wanted to change the narrative in relation to agriculture. Like when I took the step to come to Costa Rica and start agriculture, my mom was like, girl, what are you doing? I thought you'd opt to live on an island and learn computer engineering. I'm like, no, that's not me. My friend has to go for that. That might be her, but I'm not doing that. So it's more of passion and wanting to change the narrative of people that venture into agriculture, because it has been a sector that has been down looked on. It's like, you're doing agriculture, getting your hands dirty. Well, there is money in that dirt. Well, there is so much honor in that dirt. Getting your hands dirty, that's how we feed the nations, and that's how we grow nations. If you go like in many countries, African countries, our GDP is most contributed by agriculture. So why are we running as young people? Why are we running? If we are saying that young people are the the greatest asset of countries, like in terms of development and advancement, and we are saying agriculture is one of the major contributors to the GDP and to the growth of nations, why are we running then as young people? Why? This is our space for growth, our space to impact change. And if I just want to take you to look at something, if you research about the GDPs, like the goals, sustainable goals, SDGs, I mean, the SDGs, 17 of them, how many talk about agriculture? To eliminate poverty. How do we do that? There's space to implement that in agriculture. Hunger, eliminate hunger, SDG 2 or 3. How do we do that? It's agriculture. Forestry, our environment, that's also agriculture. Talk about what? Community empowerment. It's all in agriculture. So yeah, that's how I felt the need to venture into this. Yeah.
You're already making way for that and trying to show young people that, you know what, you could actually go to university and study agriculture and make it.
True. And start businesses too, because we need the money.
And start
Because you're not just
businesses.
going to exactly get empowered. Because empowerment is not only about getting to school, reading. School teaches you how to keep a job. You get, but what are you doing as you, like, on your own? Like that also matters. So yeah, creating sustainable businesses. One thing I've learned as university has taught me is how to be a more sustainable person in terms of creating businesses. Is your business sustainable? Is it helping the society? Is it contributing to a positive environmental space where you're not creating a burden on the environment? You get something like that. So we are empowering people to be entrepreneurs, because there's so much space for growth, and there's so much that needs to be done, to be honest. For long, as we were saying, people have been navigating past this sector, and that left some gaps. And what technology is also doing is bringing more spaces for development. And as Africa, one thing I thank God for is, I always tell this to my friend, we learned outside of Zimbabwe, not because we are too smart. What we need to do as people is carry what the countries that we are in is teaching us. So that means if I'm learning in Costa Rica, I would take what we are not doing as Zimbabweans and give it back to our community, you get. Because, yeah, you have people that who learn in Italy. I had a friend who I was talking to, who learns it in Italy, and I was telling her, what thing are they like doing different in terms of agriculture, like back home? Those are the things, as people that are learning outside Zimbabwe, we should take into notice. What are they doing differently in Rwanda than your country of origin, so that you might take that and implement it? You get. For instance, I've discovered one of the things that I would like to share in terms of here. Costa Rica is a banana producing country, like they have a lot of bananas. Zimbabwe too, like where I come from in Tare, right? But they are making fertilizers out of the residues of banana trees. In Zimbabwe, we throw that into the ditch. You get. They are making fertilizers out of the waste, the city residues. What are we doing? We are putting it into landfills. What is that doing to our environment? Producing methane and other greenhouse gases that will later contribute to global warming. Now we see that we don't have rain, but we are the cause. So as a person, you learned in Costa Rica where they're doing things differently. They are making manure out of it. They are selling the manure, right? Contributing to the economic development of that country, and emitting those chances of creating gases that might endanger them in the future. Take that as a person, go and implement it in your own country. Yeah. So that's about it, you get.
Yeah, go outside, learn, and bring that knowledge back home.
True. That's the message.
Rejoice, thank you for working towards feeding us and for inspiring young people to venture into modern agriculture.
Thank you too.